We'll now call the business session of October 7th, 2025 to order at 6:02 p.m. And all Waco City Council members are present. And I will now turn it over to our WISD Board President, Jose Vidania, to call its meeting.
The special meeting of the Waco ISD Independent School Board District is hereby called to order. All items which may be discussed or voted upon this evening have been posted as required by state law.
Great. With that, we will move to our first item. Please join us all for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Great, man. So great to have everybody here tonight. This is a full house, a full dais of folks here. We'll introduce everybody here in a second. The next item to consider on the agenda is individual item E1, individual consideration jointly with the Waco Independent School District Board of Trustees. And I'm going to turn it over to Deputy City Manager Deidre Emerson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and WISD school board members. Tonight we have the opportunity to talk about yet one more project that has started with a long line of folks, right? So some are sitting on the dais today, some are sitting on this side of the dais today, but there are folks that have participated in this process that are not sitting on this dais. And so first I'd like to recognize those individuals, specifically the prior superintendent, Dr. Kincannon, and the work in that council and the board members that have served in that process to help get us to this point. Next, I want to make sure that I recognize the teams who have worked hard currently and to bring this project forward. First, our city manager, Bradley Ford, Tom Bach, and I'm so excited to know that his family gets to see him in this element today. And so Tom Bach, the Director of Strategic Initiatives, our City Attorney, Kristen Hamilton-Karam, Deputy City Attorney, Kathy Perdon, and Business Support Manager, Tressa Gamblin. For Waco ISD, Superintendent Dr. Tiffany Spicer, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Melissa King-Knowles, Chief of Staff Elizabeth Cox, and Attorney Pete Russick of She/He, Lovelace, and Mayfield. Thank you all for the dedicated hours and collaboration on this project. Tonight's joint item advances a shared city ISD effort, authorizing the city's purchase of the former Indian Spring Middle School campus and the nearby track fields, paired with the lease back in an interlocal agreement focused on education and community use, honoring the site's history while positioning it for Waco's future. This action is a cornerstone move within the downtown redevelopment plan, especially the Barron's Branch District, reconnecting central public spaces, supportive civic and cultural life, and encouraging economic growth. What's before you, approval to purchase approximately 22.8 acres at 500 North University Parks and the 324 Jefferson North 4th Street track area for $32.2 million. Plus associated closing costs up to $100,000, and the budget alignments necessary to fund this transaction. Companion agreements will keep operations smooth during the transition and deepen the City ISD partnership. A lease through March 31st, 2026, and an interlocal providing discounted access to downtown venues, including Foster Pavilion, for up to 2 graduation events per year through 2037. And the Waco Convention Center for up to 5 annual events, plus structured student learning experiences and a minimum of 10 annual internships or externships across city departments. At this time, Waco ISD Superintendent Dr. Spicer and City of Waco Director of Strategic Initiatives Tom Bach will provide a brief overview of the transaction.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager Deidre Emerson. Really appreciate that introduction. Thank you, Mayor, Council, President, and Board. What a special occasion this is. And thank you all for the vision and leadership that brought us here tonight. It is my distinct pleasure to be presenting a recap of why we're taking this step together. And with that, a brief overview here is this milestone in partnership between the city and school district represents an alignment between our respective strategic plans. We have just a brief overview of our goals, the project vision together, what this transaction framework looks like, and then the next steps ahead of us. So with that, I will turn it over for some discussion about the strategic plan priorities. And there's a button on the microphone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ball. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, trustees. Thank you, city council members. As you may or may not know, Waco ISD has adopted a strategic plan with 4 priorities, and they're very, hopefully simple, but very clear. Our students, they are always first. Everything we do is at the forefront of our students. Their needs, academically, emotionally, socially, behaviorally, all the things we do are about our students. And then secondly, staff. We cannot serve our students without the proper staff. And with that, that means how we hire, how we recruit, how we retain, and how we develop those people who serve our students on a daily basis. But we also know we cannot do this work without you, and that's our community. It takes everybody inside the schools, but outside the schools, and also within our community. And so we know that we have to come together. Remember the adage, it takes a village, right? We believe in that wholeheartedly, so we cannot do this work without each of you that are in this space. And then lastly, we have to be good stewards of our finances and our operational efficiencies. And with that, that's not only our money and our finances, thank you, Ms. Davis, but it's also our operations with transportations, food service, all the things that kind of go behind the scenes that make school happen. And so with that, today, as we move on to our strategic planning priorities, this speaks to specifically number 3 and number 4. This opportunity has been an opportunity for Waco ISD to support not only the vision of our district, but also the vision of our city. And with that, we have the opportunity to, I'll say, put forth efforts and finances into our economic, I'll say, balance, if you will, our fund balance. But also, as you know, there's just a lot of uncertainty in education. And so this is a great prime opportunity for our district to make a smart move investment to make sure that we're putting money back into that balance, but also taking care of our facilities as we go forward. And so we are excited about the opportunity to meet the needs of our students, our staff, our district, and also our community. So thank you for the opportunity to partner with you and be a part of this tremendous and exciting opportunity that will leave a legacy for generations to come.
Thank you, Dr. Spicer. The partnership opportunity here, the alignment between our strategic goals became very clear and started to take visible form as we entered into this discussion about the future of downtown with some very clear goals, though, that go beyond a typical economic development project. And so what that distilled down to for us early 2024 and collaboratively through the engagement of a development partner and Hunt Development Group, working with a team of consultants, working with leadership from both of these organizations, the project mission aligned behind these 3 elements: creating density downtown, a gravitational center that is very much rooted in celebrating our stories as a community, the entire community, making downtown for everyone, and then thinking beyond just the transactional nature of a one-time economic development push, but prepare an abundant future for generations with a 100-year goal. That's reflected in the strategic roadmap that came out of that process. So adopted in late June of 2024 is a very detailed process for how we can step into transforming the downtown of our community. But the image on the right there is helpful in illustrating where these overlaps occur. We have 100 acres that we've been talking about for over a year. The yellow highlights are all the properties that come into this partnership from Waco ISD. So this is significant. We're working together to transform the face of our community, the shape of our future, and the prosperity of both of our organizations and the missions that we serve. So the project vision specifically, you've seen many of these presentations many times, but what it boils down to is within 100 acres, we've got 5 distinct defining character districts. The heart and soul of that is really reflected in what we refer to as Barron's Branch. The Barron's Branch district, on that previous slide where the red outline was, The vast majority of this is on property that currently is the former tract property. A portion of it is also on the school site, but this is such a culturally rich fabric of our community with stories that have been undertold and lost for more than a generation, but not forgotten. And so it's really a privilege to be able to talk about going beyond a vision for what that future could be like, to create concrete plans for taking steps forward in that direction. The action today will put us on that path. And some imagery that, again, has been in preparation over the past year, working with Hunt Development Group and nationally renowned consulting partners. But it is a park district that creates that fabric and the setting for these stories to be highlighted, that draws in a closeness of investment, development, but also lifeblood for our downtown. Makes people from Waco, whether they live downtown or not, want to come downtown to celebrate this. The Calle Dos neighborhood is largely the area that we're talking about, a former neighborhood that was impacted, wiped out by urban renewal. The central spine of that community was organized around 2nd Street. Here we have an animation of what the future of that corridor can be. It's a pedestrian-only environment on this particular corridor. It's anchored with visual breadcrumbs to draw visitors and locals alike through to explore a park environment, shops, restaurants, dining, with retail and with office and residential above, but populated with a character that is very much like Cameron Park, playing on that long history of Waco, drawing that into our downtown, creating opportunities for performance or small-scale activities, and then really throwing a lot of effort into nodding to our past and our history, but without recreating an artificial past. We're trying to, I'm not sure how I did that, but we're trying to cultivate an authentic representation of the heritage that we can celebrate together. And so this brings us into one of the showpieces of this entire district is La Pila Plaza, creating a plaza that has not existed, but by anchoring it with an element that very much speaks to the historic public life of the Calle Dos neighborhood around La Pila Fountain, and then looking back at this alignment that has always been an opportunity here, but has never been fully realized. So an alignment to borrow that beautiful facade, that architectural facade of St. Francis Catholic Church. That's one of the key highlights of the Park Center district, but also, there are many features that families can get really excited about. So a play fountain that again speaks that language of Cameron Park and the fountains and springs throughout our community. They can again be the organizing elements of recreation and civic life. And those features don't have to be isolated splash pads. They will, in fact, trickle throughout the majority of this park district, cascading down the topography that's created and opened up as we resurrect the Barron's Branch Creek that also flowed through this area. That creek element is really important. It is currently in tunnels under the ground and has been forgotten to a large extent, but it's very important to unlocking this area. So we are increasing the storm carrying capacity of that tunnel system so that the feature on top of the ground that resurrects the creek can be a manageable, calm, and welcoming environment in any condition. So even in a 500-year flood event, this area will channel those waters strategically to avoid impact to neighboring real estate. And that creek, it does not at all look like a flood control device whatsoever. This is a very lush, naturalistic environment with beautiful cascades interwoven among limestone and performance areas. And La Pila Fountain within the La Pila Plaza, this is one of the defining callbacks that is too precious to ignore. And so one of the key things to note here is that the existing fountain, in its original location, will remain and be uncovered in a way that respects its authentic history, but it'll also be recreated in a way that we can make functioning and bring that water back further up onto the plaza. So our heart and soul is in this project, and we hope that it resonates with the community. The feedback we've gotten so far indicates we're on the right track, but we've come a long way to put this project on track for, we're in the permitting process now. So this is navigating right along on schedule. And again, everything about this is touching on that gravitational center that's authentic and tailored for Waco, steeped in the story of this place, and embracing the spirit that successful communities know is that downtown, you've got to serve the locals first. And smart, innovative collaboration is what this partnership is all about. So the transaction framework is maybe the primary function that we're here to talk about tonight. It's representing the sale and purchase of 2 tracts of land. The first contains the school, Indian Springs School there in the background, from Waco Drive over to Jefferson along the river. And then from Jefferson towards Washington is the former tract property. And so these 2 properties together are over 22 acres and 22.8 acres, and approximately at that intersection of Jefferson and University Parks. And just to, again, touch on what overlaps within that Barrens Branch district, the image on the left helps show that very clearly, that the vast majority of the tract property and a good portion of the school property are both part of Barrens Branch and essential to its success. The transaction framework is a series of agreements that are tied together. So the most traditional side of this is the purchase and sale agreement. And again, that's the $32.2 million that the city's paying at closing. It's broken into 2 releases from escrow. The first is at closing, the $28.48 million. And then the second payment will be made, the $3.72 million will be made on March 31st at the end of the leaseback period. The other side of the agreement is really reflected in the interlocal side of it. The interlocal agreement touches on a lot of what we've discussed as partnership extras. These are really where we show how we can work together strategically for the long term, that this is a partnership, not a transaction. So certainly the short-term leaseback is one element of that. It goes beyond just the short term though. So there's opportunities for the school district to salvage equipment that still has life. There's certainly a side-by-side approach to the outreach that has to happen as we go through the same engagement process that brought many of these storytelling threads to our attention for the Barrens Branch district and the history of the Calle neighborhood. There's that same energy and focus that'll go into uncovering the threads and stories for this campus and this property and its history and what it's meant to our community. It will continue to be reflected. There's ways that's going to spill into the Barrens Branch district, and there's certainly a lot of information or a lot of ways that it will inform the ballpark district as well that will overlay this area. Internships, externships, excursions, these are things that our organizations have aligned on in years past, and this helps cement a path forward for us to continue doing that successfully over the next 10 years. So that's very exciting, leveraging all the great things that, the great opportunities that a city and doing its business as a city can afford to the young minds and young students, but also leveraging this project and leveraging the construction aspect of that and replicating the success that Waco ISD has enjoyed so well with making opportunities as Waco High School was under construction. Those are really great ideas that we're going to pull into the city's project as well. So those were great discussions and great opportunities were brought to the table that way. Similarly, as we're focused on downtown and what brings the life to our downtown, thinking about our venues. And so this building, the convention center, is one great venue downtown, but also the Foster Pavilion. That's another one that the city has had a hand in bringing to fruition and has some rights on the table to bring into this partnership. So we're excited to have defined how those things can work together for the betterment of our community and visually showcasing how our school district is an important, crucial part of the success of this community. And then for the longer term, there are elements of the strategic roadmap that we didn't get to everything yet. We haven't gotten to everything yet, and we want to preserve that conversation for a later date to say that if the stars align on a joint municipal campus and administrative campus, those are things that we can still return to in the future. So those remain in the strategic roadmap. We're open to that as opportunities present themselves for our organizations. But in the background, as the success of this first phase takes hold, as the success of downtown and the downtown redevelopment project take hold, there's a bottom line that is very important to both of our organizations, and that our bond capacity, our ability to do good things, grow wisely, and invest in our facilities, that capacity will be growing all the while in the background. So it's very exciting to be able to bring a deal like this for your discussion and consideration tonight. And again, just distilling that down to the basics, what's in front of you today for consideration is a set of 3 agreements: the purchase and sale agreement, the lease agreement is a part of that, and then the interlocal agreement. All 3 of those together are in front of you for consideration. At a future council meeting through the spring of this coming year, we'll be bringing you strategic roadmap updates for adoption. There will be a focused effort on updating that document to reflect everything we've learned in the past year, updating that document to reflect the impact and importance of this transaction. So we want to keep it valid and current and useful to us. So we will do the work in the background to support that update and bring it to your attention for consideration, all the while advancing some of the other tools for the success of development. So form-based code is going to be coming to you in early 2026. The financial process of funding Barron's Branch construction, those will be conversations in the spring of this coming year. And then ultimately, we'll be requesting or recommending an agreement amendment with Hunt Development Group for the Barron's Branch construction. We're on track for all of those things. We're in the permitting phase right now. We believe we'll be shovel-ready by the middle of 2026. So that's pretty exciting. This is an amazing watershed moment. I'm having to pinch myself up here, but it's been a lot of work and a lot of hands to bring an amazing partnership forward for you. So with that, Deputy City Manager, I turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Tom. And thank you for your leadership in this project. It's meant a lot to us within the city organization. Thank you. So Mayor, based on Tom's presentation and presentation by Dr. Spicer, the requested actions tonight are 1, adopt budget amendments, 2, approve the purchase and sale agreement, approve the lease back, approve the interlocal for education and community partnerships, and authorize the city manager to execute related documents. The intended outcomes are clear: preserve the legacy of Indian Spring, expand community and educational use of downtown, and accelerate the Barron's Branch first phase with a strong city ISD partnership. With that, Mayor, I turn it back to you.
Yeah, what we'll do right now, there's going to be a series of 2 approval cycles here. First of all, the city council will make a motion on this, and then I will turn it over to Mr. Badania to get the discussion from the school. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion on this. We'll discuss it after we hear the motion.
Mayor, as the proud parent of 2 children in Waco ISD, it would be my distinct pleasure to move to approve the said motion here today.
We have a motion for approval. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just want to say I'm grateful for the work that our city staff has done. I know Deidre, Bradley, Tom, the whole CMO team on this. Grateful for Dr. Spicer, grateful for her predecessor, grateful for this wonderful board, the school board and this council for all their work to get us to this point. I think it's been a great journey of partnership, and I think this is an incredible opportunity, and I'm just glad that the mayor allowed me to hold the briefcase with the money in it, which was kind of a thrill for me personally.
So you still have it back
I still got it. Yeah, it's in my truck.
where you parked?
I just have
I'll continue that by saying, go ahead.
thank you to all the parties involved. This was no small feat to get accomplished, and it took everybody in both organizations to get it done. And it's so much more. Earlier in our work session, we spoke about untold stories, how we got the opportunity to celebrate the mural at the South Waco Community Center and to break the ground on Alice Martinez Rodriguez Park. And those are some of our untold stories in history, and this is a huge opportunity to continue those efforts. It's not like we can put back the buildings that urban renewal removed. What we can do is bring back the community that was lost in that process. And I think the opportunity to showcase and highlight our natural resources that we have and create an opportunity to make spaces of fellowship. We've been all over the country looking at various parks and things, and the way Brooklyn Park is set up, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much better in downtown Waco because just of the topography. Or, even in Greenville last week, it's like, okay, so yeah, this is cool. However, the falls are one thing, but it's a whole river that's running through it. And we have an opportunity to get all of this done in a way that will be beneficial for generations to come. So that's the impact of this opportunity that we have. That's the beauty of this long-standing partnership that we've had with Waco ISD to just continue to grow and better Waco for Wacoans, Wacoans first, then for everyone else who gets to experience the city. So it is my privilege and pleasure to have sat through this process and been a part of it.
I'll just add that, to Mayor Pro Tem's point, this has not been an easy process, and when we as a city kind of put the cart before the horse and make this big plan with land we don't own yet, there's a lot of trust in the relationships that we have with the wonderful board up here, and in that process, there's transitions. We have a new mayor in place since this started. WISD has a new superintendent, new board members, we have new council members. So the relationship maintaining its strength throughout that time was really crucial to getting to this point. So I'm very appreciative of the efforts across the board, pun intended. And I will say that, caught that one. And I will say that Waco is stronger when WISD is stronger. There are aspects of this agreement outside of just the financial aspect on its face, which we benefit by unlocking a key piece of this, and you guys obviously benefit financially on the front end as well as hopefully with the back end. But when I think about the sort of ancillary benefits of this agreement with the Foster Pavilion use and the Convention Center use, I think of and internships and externships. I think of exposing WISD students to the place that they call home in a way that maybe they haven't seen it before. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of kids in WISD that are never going to go to Foster Pavilion outside of going to a graduation. Same thing with coming down to the convention center, and same thing with interacting with city staff and an internship and externship. And whether that entices them to stay here and keep their talent and their skills here, we're going to be better for it. Or if we send them off and they're proud sons and daughters of the city of Waco, both City of Waco and WISD stand to benefit tremendously from this. So I'm thrilled. Obviously, the development itself is going to be great. I've got a 2-year-old daughter. That's kind of what makes me keep this in perspective, that I can be happy for something happening in 15 years, is that she'll be able to enjoy it all. But this is something that is transformational for our city and for our school district here. And I'm looking forward to continued success and partnership down the line.
All right, I'll just cap that with saying that the City of Waco and WISD have such a great relationship. That's so important in a growing city like Waco. And I want to thank Dr. Spicer. I'm going to go right down the line here too. Board President Jose Badania and the entire board, Jeremy Davis, Jim Patton, Angela Ochoa, Keith Guillory, Taylor Bledsoe, and Arash Abnusi. You guys have been great to work with as we figured this out. As Councilmember Ewing stated, we've been working on this for a while, and kind of the dream has been sort of out there, and we have to get the nuts and bolts of this thing out of the way first. But I think this is a great transaction that will benefit both the city and the school. Tom Bach. I could watch that video time. You could just have it on a reel repeat for 24 hours. I just love looking at what that's gonna look like, walking around in that park and imagining our residents of Waco. That's gonna be a community park. That's gonna be for the residents of Waco to enjoy and be proud of. So this transaction really helps us move forward with a visionary downtown redevelopment plan that will be transformative. I'm just convinced it's going to give us a charge here downtown and have people from around the world that come to Waco. They're gonna want to come back when this thing is all built out. It's a great riverfront site. The entire riverfront is very connective to what the city already has. So we'll be creating new public spaces, and it's going to allow us a little bit of flexibility for downtown development. This is going to be a source of pride for all of us for generations to come. This will identify what Waco is. And as we go into this, I know you're seeing all these pictures of what we're doing, but as we get into the details and the planning, community input is going to be super important. As Tommy Balkas and City Manager Ford have kind of shown what our concepts are, we want to shape those as we go. So we know that we want to celebrate our past and make it important for the future too. Just it's a wonderful plan. So we're depending on the community feedback on this. What we're seeing as we let kind of people peek in what we're doing is a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of support and just a lot of looking forward to how soon can we get all this done. I will tell you that when this is done, we will make the San Antonio Riverwalk look like a dirty canal. You know, this is going to be super. This is going to be great stuff. Well landscaped, and we got elevation there. And anybody that's been by Barron's Branch where we're looking at this, it's basically in the floodplain right now, and it's not going to be anything until we can kind of make it happen. And so together with WISD, we're super happy that we can take first steps in this process. So any further discussion? With that, I think that's all the discussion. So City Secretary Hicks, will you please poll the council?
Waterroot,
Yes.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. And at this time, I'll also point out that Councilmember Lozano had a affidavit of substantial interest. She works for WISD, so she did not vote on that. None of the 30-some million is going to go to you, right, Isabel? Anyway, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Board President Jose Vidania for WISD action.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the purchase and sale, lease, and interlocal agreements with the City of Waco as presented and authorize the superintendent to execute all necessary documents.
I second.
Mr. Bledsoe, is there any discussion?
Just wanted to say, man, what an exciting time to be a Wacoan. Want to thank the council, the school district, everybody, Tom Bach, Bradley Ford, Dr. Spicer, Pete Russick, Elizabeth Cox, everybody up from the school district and the city who really did all the work to make this happen. I'm thankful just to come in on the back end and get to be a part of this cool ceremony because this is what makes Waco such a special place. We've had transitions at the school district level, the city level, the council level, the school board level. And for a deal of this magnitude and scope to still be able to go through, I think speaks to what makes our community so special. So thankful to get to be a part of it.
Mr. Abnussi, is there any discussion?
No, just want to thank, again, I feel like Councilman Ewing kind of set it all up. I mean, did a perfect job of explaining all the benefits we are receiving, our students, the future. Very, very blessed and happy about being a part of this whole process with all of you. And just like Taylor, and kind of joined at the tail end of it, but feel very lucky and fortunate to be a part of it. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Mr. Davis, is there any discussion?
Fortunate to be around throughout the process. Definitely excited and happy about all the work that everyone's done. Definitely proud of the benefits that our students will get throughout this process, immediately and throughout the phases of the project and for future Wacoans to come. So I'm just happy to be a part of this process.
Mr. Patton, is there any discussion?
Sure. I think that Indian Springs has always been a very important part of Waco ISD history. And I feel that this is an opportunity to continue the impact that this school had in a new and unique way. And with the transaction, this will also help Waco ISD financially from a security aspect, and will allow us to focus these resources on helping our students both today and tomorrow. And I appreciate how collaborative, Mayor, your team has been with the school board, and it's been a very transparent process that I've learned a lot from, and I appreciate that opportunity to be a part of it.
Mr. Ochoa, is there any discussion?
Yeah, just a few comments. So 105 years ago, my grandfather purchased one of the first houses on 2nd Street down there and helped his family and lots of other families help build St. Francis Church. My grandfather ended up teaching at Jefferson Moore. Years later, Isabel and I ended up teaching when it was A.J. Moore. So it's a very special part of Waco for our family. But I do want to say a big thank you to the city of Waco, not just for recognizing the history of that area, but also honoring those communities that were displaced. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of time for more thank yous down the road, but I know how hard our team worked, and I'm sure it was equally as much on y'all's end. It's just a very exciting time to see what's coming. I've been telling my kids as we drive around that area that it's not going to look the same in 10 years, and that's very exciting for us.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, please note my abstention from voting on this item.
Sir. Let the minutes reflect that the motion passed unanimously with Mr. Guillory abstaining. Now, this Waco ISD special called school board meeting is now adjourned at 6:39.
And accordingly, the city council will recess at our business session at 6:40.